How are you going to chase man for like a year? How are you going to chase him for a year? And then when you finally get hold of him, how are you going to pay 73 million pounds for him? How? And then once you paid for him, you say, oh, he's going to play against Leeds. He's going to play against Leeds. Fine. Rashford's not fit. Cavani's still an old man. I thought he's got to play. You don't like Daniel James? You've made that quite obvious. You don't like Donny van de Beek? You've made that quite obvious. How, Sway? How, Sway? How? How, Sway? How, Sway? How?
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 52 of FPL Bros. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. It's been nice to get podding again, start recording again, and just have the Prem back. To be fair, been some good games so far, and I guess we've got a few things to speak about today.
That's right. There's been some amazing games. Obviously, we've had Gameweek 1 in the first round of matches, and the hottest of hot takes as well. Hotter than the surface of the sun. Considering we've only played one round of matches, there's obituaries being written. People are tying their ribbons to trophies already. But anyway, we'll see how right everyone is come May.
Yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
We do have a fair bit to talk about, but we'll start with the usual. Do you want to go first with how we did in Game Week 1?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, sadly, this year, I kind of missed the deadline. Obviously, I prepared my team, and I think I prepared it about 2 weeks before the deadline. So, there were one or two players who were injured, and there were one or two players who would have probably taken out. But, hey-ho, no excuses. Still a decent game week. Finished with an just above average point score of 83 points. My faith in Salah and Bruno Fernandes was rewarded, and obviously Diego Jota also returned. So those three were the three players that returned for me. Ings was involved and scored a goal, which I expected. And strangely enough, my City defender Stones didn't play. I thought City would play Stones, but then again, I should have known better than to try and play the pep roulette. So. Yeah, those are the main key standout players for me. Trent was unlucky to not get an assist, but I reckon he's got a lot coming for him. So, 83 points.
Yeah. No, that is decent. And I see your cat's in on the action as well.
Yeah, she's getting a bit excited.
Rather. Just out of curiosity, what would you have done differently if you'd remember the deadline? Because 83 is a decent score, because we'll come on to mine in a minute. So I would certainly not turn my nose up at 83.
I would have probably taken out my Watford striker I put in there.
Yeah.
And tried to save money elsewhere to bring in Sarr. Because I know Watford have the ability to score and assist. Mm. And I did a lot of research into the top players for Watford from the Championship last year. Yeah. And Sarr was the top player in terms of goals and assists. But the second best performing player was João Pedro Jesus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because we all know about Sarr, and I saw lots of draft Game Week 1 teams with Sarr in there, and I thought, that's actually a good shout. I think I actually went with Saka purely because I thought he'd get his mind right, and considering, everything that's happened to him, I thought he'd want to, put in a good performance and, just kind of, really put his best foot forward, which he's very capable of doing. But go on.
Yeah. So basically, I would have probably taken him out and brought a striker in that was not injured. is probably all I would have done differently. But hey ho, you got to just roll with it, and it is what it is.
Yeah. No, that's a good score. It's a good start. Certainly, good start. Yeah, if I've got this right, I think I probably did the worst out of all four of us. So I got 71 points, and I gambled on Sancho, and the gamble did not pay off.
I mean, that was wild.
I know, I
I mean,
know, but
that
I
was wild.
I should not blame anybody but myself. Although I did see Sancho in quite a few draft teams as well. But even though I should only blame myself, I'm still well with Solskjaer. So that's the story of my 71 points. I didn't have Bruno Fernandes. I had Sancho. And Antonio was nice with his 13 points, even though he missed a penalty.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was so close to getting Antonio. So it was between Antonio and Ings, and I went for Ings purely on the fact that Grealish is gone.
Mm.
Sorry. Yeah, I went on the fact that Grealish is gone, and obviously Ings is a clinical striker.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and it looks like he's got penalties at Villa now as well. I mean, that's nothing to be sniffed at.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get Jamie tonight.
No,
No. But
but yeah, we've got a lot to talk about anyway, regardless. So
that's right. Yeah, a lot to talk about, and I'm not ready to panic just yet. And I may even keep Sancho for game week 2. So that'll show you all when he
I mean,
bangs in a hat trick.
what you're doing here, there's something called deja vu, and I'm getting it right now. And all I'm thinking is Pepe. Pepe. You had
I
faith in Pepe.
I want to be positive. I'm a positive guy. I'm a positive type of guy. Anyway, what's done is done, and I've picked a team which I would like to think will do well for the next 4 game weeks. That was what I was looking at, and then we'll see what happens after the first 4. Because there's going to be 38 round of games, plenty of double game weeks, and all that kind of thing. I am still trusting my judgment. It's probably gone down by 1%, but the trust is still there.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right then, let's get some going with some talking points. Was there anything you wanted to start with in particular?
Should we start with the elephant in the room?
Would that be the Kane saga?
Okay, yeah, we could do that one. I was thinking of a different elephant, which has got a cannon for a trunk, but it's fine. We can start with the Kane saga. So,
Oh, all right. But might as well. Jamie's not here, so
I mean, Jamie missed this on purpose because he knew what was coming. You know when you just don't want it. Like it's like when you've
it has
misbehaved
been brutal. It has been brutal. I have
and
to
you're gonna get told off, but you know you can just dodge it. You know you don't have to take that telling off, and he's dodged it, but it's fine.
Well, fine. Look, fill your boots, because when Liverpool were winning 6 home games in a row, certain mans weren't holding back, were they? So fill your boots.
To be fair, there's not a lot to say. There's not a lot to say, and
Yeah.
I'll keep it short and simple.
Hmm.
The club's falling off. The owners don't care. They just care about profits. The manager is very overrated. He was Pep's water boy, and now he's a manager.
Mm.
And finally, there's no standout player in the club. There's no leader in the club, and it's just
I have
poor.
to say, out of everything you've just said, that's probably what I agree with the most. There doesn't really seem to be a real personality
No,
there. And it's difficult when you spend a lot of money on players and they just seem not to want to perform anymore.
they
Uh,
look average. Does that make sense?
yes, I think
They
so.
look average. They don't
It,
look like. Do you know what I mean? They don't look like a top 4, top 6 team playing against the bottom, like a newly relegated team.
mm,
They look like an average team. They look like I don't want to get onto teams, but they look like Burnley playing against. Do you know what I
um,
mean?
I haven't seen the stats for
Or
that game,
Newcastle.
but I'm guessing that Arsenal had most of the possession. It
Oh,
wouldn't
they had
surprise
loads of possession,
Uh,
but they did nothing.
I'm willing to bet they had at least 60%. But yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, if you want to get into specifics, obviously one problem that they seem to have is the whole passing out from the back business. Now, it's a
Mm,
shame because when passing out back from the back works, it is unbelievable. Because, I shouldn't have to explain this to most people who like football. If you are able to pass out from the back and beat the press of the opposition, it means that when you finally get the ball into their third, you've got bags of space because they're
yeah.
all in your half. And you frequently get 3-on-2 situations or 3-on-3
Hmm.
situations from which you should score. So I,
Yeah.
I understand why a lot of managers are in love with passing out from the back. Now, some people might say Arsenal don't have the players to pass out from the back. And you're entitled to your own opinion. They should be able to do it, in my opinion. David Luiz was supposed to be an amazing passer of the ball and a very comfortable on the ball. He's Brazilian. Why wouldn't he? I hear that is a big part of the reason they signed Ben White, because apparently he's a very, very good passer of the ball. He's comfortable with the ball. So here's my take on this. I think that Arsenal do have the players to pass it out of the back, but I don't think Arteta is up to getting them to doing it properly. I don't think it's a player's fault. I think it's Arteta's fault. Okay, look, Arteta worked over with Pep Guardiola. Well, if anyone knows anything about passing the ball out from the back, Guardiola's going to know it. But it's not just asking your players to pass it. You've got to train. You've got to work on the right positions, work on the right sort of situations. You work on the correct triangles. You tell your players what to do. If you've got someone coming in from the front and someone coming in from the left, what do you do? You've got someone coming in from the right and someone coming in from the front. What do you do? I think that it's beyond Arteta to instill it into his players. I think most Premier League players, at least the ones at Arsenal, the amount of money that they're earning, I think that a good manager can get them passing out the back. Unfortunately, the last two weren't up to it. So that's my take. Some people blame the players. Personally, I think it's the manager. And if they
I don't
could
think
get
it's the
that
manager.
out,
I think the manager is average. Don't get me wrong, but I don't
yeah,
think he's the one who's causing them to perform at the level they are. One thing I'll leave it at, and you can add to it after. Arsenal have gone through managers like no one could believe, and and every time they blame the managers and they get rid of them. And when they got rid of Unai Emery, he went, and not only did he do well in Spain, he also won. Is it with Spain he went to? Innit? It was like was it Villarreal he went to? I can't remember
yes,
now.
I think it
No,
was.
Sevilla.
No, he
Was
came
it?
from Sevilla.
He came from Sevilla and went back to
He came to Sevilla. He went to Paris
yeah.
Saint-Germain, and then he went to Arsenal, and now he's with Villarreal.
Villarreal, and they won the Europa League, and they
Yeah.
beat Arsenal. So it just goes to show, and those players are not like they're just do you know what I mean? They're not even that special.
What you mean,
So
the Real players?
yeah, they're not.
No, not really.
Like man for man, Arsenal players were better. Look at the players Arsenal have, man for man, they're better. But
Yeah.
the manager has a team who are willing to work hard, and that's one thing.
Yeah.
They work
No,
so hard.
I think that's
And
another problem, Arteta.
yeah,
I honestly think the players don't want to play for him. Okay, I'm sorry, but like Aubameyang, Lacazette, Odegaard when he comes back and starts playing again, Saka, Smith Rowe, Pepe, they just don't go like pony overnight. Sometimes players play badly because they just can't be bothered, and
yeah.
and I think there's something uninspiring about Arteta, and that's another problem that he's got. Don't get me wrong, I'm not always ready to blame the manager. I thought Emery was given quite a hard time by Arsenal fans, and I even said it. I said it on this pod. I can't remember which episode it was. Maybe in like episode 18 or 20. I said that Emery was successful before he went to Arsenal, and after he leaves Arsenal, he will still be successful. And the problem will have been Arsenal, not Emery. I said it, and well, if I'm going to get one thing right this week, I think I got that right. Europa League winner. There you go.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right then. I think we'll leave the body of Arsenal at the moment. It's still breathing, so. I would just like to your thoughts on the return of Lukaku.
Oh, I can't wait for him to come back.
Yeah.
When I say I can't wait for him to come back, I mean I can't wait to see him play.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
Yeah. Oh yes, indeed. He's going to be getting his ammunition from Havertz, I don't know about Ziyech. He might be going Pulisic, Kante, Werner if he plays out wide from right, I guess, and Mount, and they're all, he's going to have plenty of people supplying him, and it's going to get ugly for other teams. And I would just like to say that I can't believe the disrespect that has been shown to Lukaku, because people are saying, "Oh well, he's a better player now. He's improved, blah 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 blah." If Chelsea had still been doing the business, because he did the business at West Brom, and let's face it, West Brom have never been known as to be a creative team, and he was still
did the business at Everton.
yeah, he did the business of Manchester United. Although,
Even though he
admittedly,
was in the best shape at United, he still did a
yeah,
very good job there.
exactly. So the guy was always an elite striker, and he was always going to be an elite striker. I mean, he's
Yeah.
Belgium's record goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah. Do you know that? No, I didn't know that.
Oh well, I could be wrong about that. I'm gonna have to check up on that. But even then, he's pretty close. He must be like in the top two or something, right? So people were like, "Oh well, Chelsea were right to get rid of him, and like now they're buying him back now that he's good." I'm like,
Chelsea are
what?
just known for buying back players, isn't it? It's like
Exactly. The problem
it's
was
like
not Lukaku. The problem was Chelsea.
Chelsea is the personification of a guy who's left a girl and then texts her back saying, "Hey, big Ed, what's up?"
Exactly. I'm not quite sure I get that reference. Is that to do with Love Island?
No, it's just a
Oh,
saying where
yeah.
boys generically text girls and they use that phrase, "Hey, big Ed, what's up?" And that's basically a line to show like, oh, he's trying to win her back.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And look, people talk about how they got rid of Kevin De Bruyne, but I think he was 18 at the time, and I wasn't
Yeah.
entirely sure about him anyway. With Salah, again, he was a very skillful player when I saw him play for Chelsea, but I didn't know he had the goal scoring in him. So maybe
Hmm.
that's one they could have held on to. Again, with Matic, I don't know. With David Luiz, I don't know. But with Lukaku, I mean, the guy came to Chelsea, he said, "I'm going to play here, I'm going to score goals, and Didier Drogba is my idol." He was
Idol,
ready,
yeah, I remember this.
yeah. He was desperate to play for Chelsea. He had only one thing in his mind, to score goals for Chelsea, and he wanted to be the next Drogba. I was thinking, give this kid a chance. What more does he have to do? So certainly with Chelsea, they're definitely texting Big Ed there,
Yeah.
100%. They can't deny it at all. And I hear they're going to have to shift out 3 or 4 players just to look like they're complying with financial rules. I mean, that's a topic for another discussion, isn't it? There's a perception of complying with financial rules, and then there's actually doing it, and they're just two completely different things.
Yeah.
But no, as soon as Chelsea get on a good run, or who knows, they might even be fixture proof. I'm certainly eyeing
Yeah.
it up.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Lukaku, I say why not? People were happy to spend money on Kane in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, that's going to be a big one.
Do you want to get onto that?
Let's go into that next.
Let's get onto Kane. I'll let you do it, man. I'll let you start.
£150 million, apparently, is what I've heard.
Apparently, yeah.
150 million.
So you could get
How old is he?
28.
28. 28, £150 million. I can't remember who said this, but this feels like the 2021 version of Arsenal selling RVP to United.
Wow. If that's true, that is massive. If it's true, that is seismic. If it's true. Oh, by the way, I'm not being funny there, but you can get Philip Coutinho for 150 million, can't you? What was he, 140, something like that?
Yeah, he was expensive, man.
Yes. Anyway, I honestly, I'm not having a go when I say that, but go on.
I just think, like, I feel for Kane, right? Because obviously I want him to win trophies, and that's not going to happen at Spurs. Let's be honest, right? We can all be honest with ourselves. They had their chance that year.
We can now, for those
The
people
year they did the all or nothing, and
I
they
just want
bottled
to
it.
say, for those of you who don't know, we are recording after Spurs' inaugural match in the Europa Conference against a very obscure Portuguese team who I can't remember the name of. And they lost 1-0.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what's funny though?
Go on.
There was a video recently where they were taking a house playing
Yeah.
Spurs.
I'm going to put
think
that Twitter feed.
Yeah, you have to.
If you're listening and you haven't seen this video, it's just so bad. How can people talk about Spurs like that?
Yeah,
Oh.
Spurs are a disgrace.
God, what is it? They've got that 70,000 Citeh stadiums at least must be something like those lines. And I love the look of the stadium. I mean, I've never been a big Spurs fan, but I really want to go there. It looks
The
amazing.
stadium is really nice, apparently. Like really.
It looks it. It looks it. I like going to nice, impressive looking stadiums. I've been to the one at
Mm.
Porto. That's really impressive. The FC Porto Stadium is, I think, is the Stadio Dragao or something like that. Yeah, and I just like them. But yeah, anyway, and I mean they're never short of cash at Spurs either. They always seem to be able to have money to spend on players and on wages. So they've got all that going for them, and yet, so with Kane, if the transfer does go through, and
I'll be getting him. I'll
sorry, go
100%
on,
be getting him.
you will.
Yeah, 100%. You have to.
It's that Pep Guardiola though, man.
Are you joking?
I'm not
Kane
joking,
at Manchester
but
City.
I'm not joking, but there were times when Sergio Aguero was unstoppable and Pep would still rotate the dude. And I remember quite a few seasons back, it was like the second game of the season, and Aguero had started. I think he'd scored a goal. And then the next game came up, and this guy, I'll never forget this because it was big in fantasy football. There's a reporter at The Guardian called, I think he's called Jamie Jackson, something like that, and he said before the second game of the season, he said, I think it was against Burnley, he said, "Oh, Pep Guardiola is thinking of dropping Aguero." Now, when people see a line like that, they all sit up and take notice because they never flipping know what Pep's going to do with the lineup, right? And all of us who had started with Aguero took him out. Well, a lot of people did. I didn't because I just thought to myself, if Pep plays him, he plays him. If he doesn't, he doesn't. You take your chances with Pep. Yeah. It just so happened that I think he scored 2 goals and got an assist. So he
Yeah.
he absolutely hauled. And then everybody got mad saying, "Oh, I can't believe that Jamie Johnson, Manchester football correspondent for The Guardian, giving us all that clickbait about Pep not starting for Manchester City." And I thought, it's Pep, all right? Don't blame it on one guy. Yes, Pep is capable of taking out his main striker, and he does things like that. That's the general point I'm making. People are so mistrustful of Pep that they will even take Aguero out of their teams if they think he's not going to play. But you reckon he's going to
Yeah.
be nailed?
I reckon he's good, definitely. I just think there's no way they're going to spend that much money to not play the guy. They're even playing Grealish, so it just goes to show.
True. That's
They're
true.
playing
That's
Grealish. They will
yeah.
drop. They will drop. They'll have Kane up front,
Hmm.
Grealish on the left, Mahrez on the right. Sterling won't play for a little bit, and
Yeah.
then Foden might get a game every now and then. Kevin De Bruyne with Fernandinho, and
Yeah.
then yeah,
Underhand.
Gundo's even getting tired now. He's older.
That's true. That is true. Fair enough. At the end of the day, I think we're looking at a few hat tricks or a few braces from Kane if it does
Mm.
happen. Now, whether it's going to happen or not, I think it's. I don't know actually. I know people have got views on this. I mean, everybody likes to listen to that guy. Is he called Fabrizio Romano? Is that his name?
Fabrizio
The
Romano.
one is that his name?
It rings a bell.
Yeah, he's that guy on Twitter who seems to get like all the important transfer news first, basically. I mean, I don't know what he's saying, but what I have heard is that Daniel Levy does not mind keeping unhappy players if he doesn't get the price he wants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because apparently he did that with Modric and he did that with Bale. They both wanted to leave, but he said
Mm-hmm.
they haven't offered enough for you, so you're staying. I don't care how
Saying,
happy you are. I don't care how
I want
many
a cheap
shots you
sod.
throw. So I'm a little bit concerned that Levy drives such a hard bargain that even if
Mm.
Kane is going on strike, I mean, I don't know, man. Keeping a 3-time Golden Boot winner and then not playing him because he's sulking just because you're not getting the right price for him. On the other hand, he did recently sign a new contract, so they could keep him for a while without his price going down. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. I don't know. I mean, have you heard about how likely the transfer is to go through or not? Have you got any thoughts on that?
It is likely going to go through. I think it's going to go through.
Oh, okay.
There's
Fair
no
enough.
reason why it shouldn't go through that
Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
Kane's unhappy. Kane's asked to leave. City are prepared to pay for him. I just think there's going to be some schematics around how they pay, because they probably can't afford to do just one bulk payment of 150 mil.
Yeah. No, they
So they
will
might have to do like,
payments. There'll be lots of
it's going to stagnate, especially after just bought Grealish for what, 100 mil or whatever. They can't afford that.
No, there'll no doubt there'll be like first refusal buyback clauses. If he scores like 20 goals, they'll pay an extra on top of that. If he wins the Champions League or gets the Ballon d'Or, there'll be all sorts of extras that Spurs.
Extras, yeah. And I think that's probably what they're trying to iron out at the moment. But in my opinion, it's definitely going to go through.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're optimistic, because I just hear that Levy likes to drive a real hard bargain, and it's not like he hasn't done it before. But anyway, like Jamie Spett, or was it Jamie or James? One of the two said they'll get 150 million and then they'll just promptly waste it on 4 or 5 half-cut plays or something.
Yeah.
They did with the Bale money. My God, the Bale money. My goodness me. Oh, brings tears to the eyes.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right, then.
All right, so should we talk about our teams then and what we've got planned?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
All right, then. But I'm going to keep it short because, I've got Veltman. Apparently, he's injured, so I'm going to do something about that. But I'm going to keep my powder dry. I'm not thinking about -4s. I'm certainly not thinking about wild cards. I genuinely did look ahead when putting this team together. Obviously, I'm miffed about the fact that I had to get rid of Andrew Robertson, and I may look to bring him back in as soon as I can. But I'm still convinced that Rafa Benitez is going to get Everton defending solidly, and even if he doesn't, Digne is a demon of a crosser, so he's a decent enough replacement for Robertson. So I'm going to do something about Veltman, but I'm keeping the team pretty much as it is. I think I've put the captain's armband on Salah, and I may have put vice captaincy on Mahrez. Now, again, Mahrez is a gamble. I appreciate that, but when he plays, I think he generally either he plays or he doesn't. He doesn't come on for like 1 point cameos, and I've just got my fingers crossed that he's just going to go mental in the next game, and then the rest of them are cool. Antonio's decent. I think he's on penalties. Even Tony, he's bound to score at some point because Brentford look like they're going for it. And Danny Ings, what can we say? He's going to do right. He's on penalties. He's shown his value when it comes to that. Sufar was very close to getting a couple of assists in the last game. Yeah, I mean, the Rafinha, again, he's a demon. So I've got high hopes. One correction, I didn't have Saka. I actually had Smith Rowe. And again, I'm worried about Arsenal. Somebody said that they may, the way their fixtures are looking up, they could go the first 3 games with 0 points.
Yeah, it does look that way.
Gosh. But anyway, he's handy to have on the bench. So I'm not really doing much with my teams. Captaincy stays on Salah. I'm going to get rid of Veltman because, I want to play at least a playing bench defender. But I haven't really thought about who to replace him with.
Fair enough. Sounds like you've got a solid strategy there. For me, still looking at Salah with the armband, with Bruno with the vice captain, playing against the Southampton team who shipped 3 against Everton. I think United should do well against them. Hopefully, KDB is back for this next game against Norwich. I reckon he's going to do bits, and I definitely want to try and get him in my team after this fixture, not directly after it, but in the next maybe 2 or 3 fixtures. I want to try and kind of worm him into my team because I think Grealish is good, but I feel like Pep's always going to play KDB and Grealish will sometimes play, and he will have a lot of pressure from Foden and possibly even Sterling if they don't both play at the same time. So it could get a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Subs wise, I'm like you. I'm not taking any hits, but I am taking out a defender and I'm bringing in a Brentford defender because I think Brentford have a lot of potential. I think there's some gems there, which could be the next Dallas, so to speak. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So we're playing it safe or relatively safe. It being the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
and all. I mean, have you got any thoughts on the FPL Bros team at all? I think the team itself kicked off fairly well. Didn't they get like 82 points or something?
Yeah,
Um,
annoyingly enough, FPL Bros team got 85 points, so two
85.
more than me. Um,
Yeah.
Salah, captain, Antonio in there, Ings in there, Son obviously in there. I think for the next fixture, it looks quite solid. A lot of the players there have good fixtures ahead of them.
Yeah.
Son's got good ones. Salah, Jota's got good ones. Pretty much all of them have good fixtures ahead of them. So I think it's
Yeah.
going to return a lot of points in the next fixture
That, that's
from
that's Son.
there.
Son is looking like an inspired signing we made there,
Mm.
because there's a good chance he's going to be up front for quite some while.
Yeah,
At
I mean the
Spurs.
bench looks amazing as well. You've got nine
True.
points with Sarr, 6 points with Ailing. So
Yeah.
I think it's a well-rounded team, very well-rounded
Yeah.
team. So I think the
No,
FPL Bros is going to
it's
do well.
it's encouraging. It certainly is encouraging, and doesn't really look like much changes need to be made to
No.
it. And yeah, it looks good. All right then.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Do you want to go on to player picks and predictions?
Yeah, I'll do that. Player picks, it's going to be easy for me. Bruno Fernandes, just brilliant form, sick. Like it's obvious choice. You can't not have him in your team right now. I think his essentials just proved that. Second player pick is going to be KDB. I think he's going to come back with a vengeance, especially after City losing. Pep's going to change the team around. I know what Pep's like. He's not going to play the same team. He's definitely not, like especially after they lost. So he's going to change the team around. KDB's going to come in. He's going to do bits against Norwich as he always has done. And finally, I know we both have this player, and after watching him play against Arsenal, he looked like a massive threat for me. So I'm
Yeah,
going for Tony,
yeah.
aerial threat, and he's got pace, he's got strength, he's just a beast. And I think Crystal Palace are going to really struggle against Brentford. So those are my three player
Yeah,
picks.
so Palace, it's sad, man. Sad, the start that they've made. Although I will say this, when Crystal Palace were good, they did look good. The passing looked slick to me. They got it up
Yeah,
pretty well, and the finishing usually, or the final pass usually let them down. So if they keep that going, I think they will pick up points. But it's
yeah.
never nice to the floor wiped with
Right.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, 3-0 whitewash.
I'm
Drop
trying to
the
get
pad,
it out
Palace,
of
drop the pad.
it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the stuff there to be encouraged, I think, for Palace fans. So don't start panicking just yet. All right then. Yeah, I'm going to keep mine fairly simple. I think it's all about the tried and trusted players at this stage of the season. So I'm just going to go with Trent, as you quite rightly pointed out. He's still got the assists in him. He's still got the odd free kick in him, and he's just looking like he's back to what he always does. So that's a fairly straightforward pick there. For my next one, again, I just mentioned him, Son. He's looking like the main man at Spurs.
Hmm.
If people ever doubted he could do it before, I think he's going to step up now. I mean, if Dele Ali gets himself cemented back in that team, maybe him as well. But for the time being, I just say Son, keep it simple. And then up front, Jamie Vardy. I mean, what is he now? Like 67, 68? I don't know. But he just keeps doing it. He has his ice baths every week or whatever it is they do. They stick in him some sort of cryo chamber, don't they? But yeah, I mean, he was back to his old tricks against Wolves, and
That's
yeah. What's he going to do when he scores against Arsenal? How do you make fun of the Arsenal mascot there? I don't know. Well, let's hope it happens, and my curiosity will be sated. So yeah, Vardy again. We know he does it, and he's got some good fixtures coming up, and got Harvey Barnes, Tielemans, Madison,
yeah.
all buzzing around him, supplying the bullets. Yeah. Oh, actually, I was going to say Calvert Lewin, but yeah, I slipped in the fourth
You
one
got too
there.
many. You got too many. You just spot for choice. To be fair, there's a lot of players this week who look really attractive because there's a lot of good games in favour
Yeah.
of some of the bigger teams. So yeah, it should be a good week all around. I think,
Yeah.
regardless of as long as you got players from some key players from the teams that we know are going to win, I think most people will get good points.
I think so, yeah. Having fans back in the stadium, for some teams it puts them under more pressure, but I think other teams just play better. It's as
They just
simple as that.
flourish. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
predictions. The magic of prediction. Right. First of all, we have Liverpool lunchtime kickoff. Burn against Burnley at Anfield.
I mean, Liverpool's going to win that, aren't they?
Yeah.
2-0.
Yeah. I might even go as far as say 3 or 4 because I think Burnley, for some reason, they tend to start the season badly lately, and
Yeah.
they just look like relegation fodder until Sean Dyche gets them sorted out. So I'm going for a big Liverpool win there.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have Man City versus Norwich.
City, easily.
Yeah, same. Norwich didn't look all that impressive to me against Liverpool. Again, Man City just seem like they're starting a bit slowly, so I don't think it's
I
going to be a
think in the
blast.
last 15 minutes, Norwich kind of picked up the pace, but it was too late at that point.
It was, and Pukki again. I mean, he's not a bad goal scorer, but I noticed the last time that they were in the Premier League, his one-on-ones were pretty shoddy. And when he gets
Yeah.
free and he's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, I normally expect it to get saved or for him to drag it wide. Which is a pretty mean thing to say about a striker, but I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. So I think Man City will win, but again, I think they're going to have a slow start to the season, so they'll probably just labour to like a 1-0 win or something.
Yeah.
Famous last words. Okay, Sunday is Southampton versus Manchester United.
United's definitely going to batter them for that one. Even though they are away, they're going to batter them.
I'm
What
going to
do you
go for
think?
a shock result here, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because Hasenhüttl's good at that. And I mean, I don't know if Varane's going to play in that game. I would have thought so. But so even if he does, he might need to gel. Just one slip, one mistake somewhere, Southampton are in. And that guy, is it Adam Armstrong? He looks useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Armstrong.
yeah, the thing about Southampton is they stay up because every now and again they just pull it out of the bag, and they've done it
Hmm.
before. They do it all the time. So yeah, although it's probably wishful thinking. I'm bitter about that whole Sancho thing. Here I am. I'm keeping Sancho, but I'm still predicting Southampton are going to get something. All right then. So Sancho scores, but Southampton win. There you go. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
All right. Wolves v Spurs.
Spurs should win that, but it could be a draw as well because Wolves are not a bad side.
Yeah. I didn't see a game against Leicester or much of it at all. How did they look? I mean, they still don't have Neto and Podence back, do they?
I didn't watch too much of the highlights, but I did see the goal, and I think Leicester outplayed Wolves from what I've seen. So, but they
Yeah.
didn't look
No,
terrible.
I think you're right. I think Spurs will probably edge that one, and if they don't, it'll be a draw, I reckon. Yeah. And then Arsenal v Chelsea.
Oh God, Lukaku's gonna run riot.
Yeah.
1-2s with Werner.
Who knows? Lukaku might even assist Werner because he's actually quite good at that as well. You know,
Yeah.
I can just see him on the ball with three Arsenal players around him, and all of a sudden it pops out to Werner and he scores. I'm seeing it right now. It's uncanny. It's vivid, right in my mind. Technicolor. I'm telling you, man. 4K. I could see something like that happening. So yeah, I've got to give it to Chelsea, unfortunately, because they just look too good at the moment. They'll be full of confidence. Arsenal a bit less so, and
Yeah.
no, only God knows what's going on there.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So yeah, I think that's it for player picks and predictions. Obviously, if you're listening to this on YouTube, we've got the index down below in the description below. So all the main sections of the pod are marked out. I just realised that I've been putting the wrong code for the FPL Bros League down. So
Oh
I have the
no.
right code. Yeah, I have the. I've been putting down last season's code. I have this season's code. So you are welcome to join the FPL Bros League. It's up and running. Get in there. Do we know what we're talking about? If we don't know what we're talking about, show us. Yeah, show us and win by winning the league or at least beating FPL Bros in the league. So
Yeah, there's no way you're coming to my league and getting top 3 even. So don't even bother, guys. Don't bother unless you're decent. Don't bother.
throw down, throw down. All right then. So the code is in there, and of course you can have a look at see what we're planning with the Bros team on Twitter and also the Spotify version of the podcast and all other podcast versions of the podcast. So now I'm just talking nonsense. You know what it is, FPL Bros. We're on YouTube, we're
Just
on
join.
Spotify, on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
FP at FPL_Bros. Okay then. Thanks very much for turning out tonight. Appreciate it.
No
And
worries.
yeah,
Always a pleasure.
uh, that's right. So yeah, that's a
All right.
goodbye from me.
Yeah. Catch you next week, guys.
Okay, green owls all around. Bye bye.